If you just got a brand new puppy or you just haven't had a dog in a long time, today I'm gonna give you some tips to kind of help you make the right decisions with your new dog in puppyhood. What I really want to focus on in this video is just keeping your puppy healthy. A lot of people get puppies and they treat it like an adult dog. They think that the immune system of the dog is strong like an adult dog, so they take their dog all over the place. I seen a dog at this park out here in Houston, like an 8-week-old bully puppy. Man was just walking it off leash, out and about, not knowing that that dog could catch parvo by just hanging out with you. A lot of people don't understand that the immune system of these puppies are really susceptible to a lot of bacteria, a lot of things that's on the ground. With a brand new puppy, you really want to keep that brand new puppy in your backyard if possible. And when I say put the dog in the backyard, I'm not saying make the dog live in the backyard. I'm just saying when you take him to use the restroom, take them to the back instead of the front, because your backyard is a lot safer than the front yard. You got dog feces. You got a lot of things in the grass, and if your puppy step on those things or ingest those things, you can have a very sick puppy. You could really be the cause of your dog's death because you're trying to go out and enjoy your dog. If you have a puppy that does not have all of his shots, keep that dog in the backyard. Don't let that dog go in the front yard, especially if you have other dogs walking through the neighborhood that poop in your yard and pee in the yard. Don't put your puppy in that atmosphere like that, because they're not strong enough to bear all those parasites and stuff that's out there. So keep the dog in the backyard until you get all of the shots, and then when you get 13 or 14 weeks old, that's when you can start just being a little bit more free with your dog. You can start walking them around the block and so on and so forth. If you happen to get a dog from a breeder, a lot of time the breeders will give the first set of shots, and then they'll give you a sticker, and then it's up to you to finish it off. What I suggest is just take that dog to a vet and let the vet start the shots all the way over. So now you have a vet that you can always go to, and you have vet records. So even as that dog get older, you want to take that dog to go be boarded at some facility. They're going to ask you for the shot records. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to want to see no stickers. People just trust the vet more. So it's best just to take the dog to the vet and just start the process over. If you want to take the dog to get groomed, they're going to want to see the shot records as well. Of course, you can go to the feed store. You can do the shots yourself. But what I see is a lot of people don't stick to it. If you have puddles of water in your yard, like when it rains, you get puddles on the side of the house. You want to patch those puddles up. You want to fill them with dirt. You want to make sure that standing water is not there, because your dog can get giardia, and that giardia will cause your dog to have diarrhea, and it'll just make your dog sick. So you just want to make sure that you fill all the standing water that's in your yard, or just don't let your dog go near that standing water. Another thing that puppies fall victim to is worms. The mother passes worms automatically on to the puppies. So it's your job to deworm the puppy around 5 weeks old, and then you can do it monthly from there. But basically, hookworms, probably the main worms that kill a lot of puppies. You got tapeworms. Those worms you can see coming out of the poop. They white. So just be careful for those things. So if you get a new dog from a breeder, just go deworm it. Be on top of that. Know that every puppy gets worms. So the parvo is, I call it dog AIDS, because if your dog gets parvo, man, it'll die in 3 days. It'll die in a week. It'll be throwing up. It'll be pooping a lot. It won't be able to hold no water down. It won't be able to hold no food in, and it'll really die of dehydration. Bought a dog. This one I was really into any type of dog. I didn't care if it was a mutt. It was like a boxer mix I bought off the back of a truck. Man, this dog died the next day, parvo. At that point, I didn't have a lot of dog knowledge, so I was clueless. That dog had diarrhea. I didn't know what was going on. If your dog does have parvo, you can save the dog. I've taken the dog to the vet, and when I took it to the vet, it got parvo at the vet. So that's getting on to my next point. When you have your puppy, when you go into the vet, if it's a small dog, just carry it. Hold it in your lap the whole time. Because when you go to the vet, it's a lot of sick dogs at the vet. It's a lot of sick dogs, a lot of dogs that have parvo, a lot of dogs that have a lot of stuff. So don't let your dog just crawl over to other dogs and, intermingle with those dogs. You don't know what those dogs have. It's the same way with like going into PetSmart, Petco. A lot of those places like that, there'd be a lot of sickly dogs. So keep your puppy out of those atmospheres. Just hold off. I know you want to take your dog everywhere. You want to show the dog off and all that. Hold off, because if you do that, you might have a dead dog on your hand, you know, so it's not even worth it. Now, another tip for those who have large breed dogs, you know, maybe Rottweilers, Mastiff, German Shepherds. With those dogs, don't try to encourage them to jump onto items and jump off of items when they're real small, because what you can do is you could damage the hips. And if you damage those hips in puppyhood, it's a wrap. That dog might walk with a limp for the rest of his life because of what you encouraged in puppyhood. You know, so for those large breed dogs, just be very careful with them. Don't take them on long walks that's too long for them. Let their body mature before you really start acclimating them to the kind of exercising that you're doing. Some of those breeds, it's best to just hold off for about a year. Wait till the dog is 12 months old, and then you start to bring them into the way that you exercise. For those puppies, you just got to be safe. You got to just make sure that you just safeguarding them during that time. I don't even really recommend, you know, like people take their dog to doggy daycare. A lot of those large breed puppies, I wouldn't take them there. All that needs to happen is one of those dogs will jump on your dog's hip and hurt your dog's hip. Next thing you know, you're torn. Do you keep the dog? Do you rehome the dog? You love the dog at this point, but you didn't want a dog with bad hips. Another thing is, you know, the zoomies in the house. When they get late at night, they like to run all through the house and all that kind of stuff. If you let those big dogs slide on the floor, they could slide into something and hurt themselves. So just be careful for that, you know. Create a boundary or something if that's what you allow in your house. I don't really allow that in my house. You know, I let the dogs go outside and do all that. Go in the backyard for the puppies, but in my house, you can't do that. Now, when it comes to giving your dog stuff to chew on, I'm not going to go down a list of things, but just avoid rawhide. Don't give your puppy or your adult dog that to chew on. Find something that's more gentle to the stomach. That rawhide will cut a dog up. I had a client that gave their dog rawhide treats, and the rawhide got stuck in the dog, and they had to get a surgery to get it out the dog. And you know how much those surgeries are. Now, if you're bringing your brand new puppy and you're introducing them to an adult dog, and you know that dog is a little aggressive, don't leave that puppy around that adult dog, because that big dog might split the little one up. It could kill a small puppy quickly. So what I normally would do is, let's say I have an adult Rottweiler and I'm bringing in a puppy Rottweiler. I'm not leaving her with him until she's old enough and big enough to defend herself, to be able to take a bite from that dog. If you have a dog that's real dominant, it is going to bite that puppy at some point, but you don't want it to bite it when it's a very small 13-week-old puppy. I would rather for it to bite it when it's 8 to 10 months or something like that, where the dog can take the bite, basically, you know. Another thing that I suggest, if you see your adult dog becoming aggressive around your puppy, you need to check that adult dog and let that dog know that you're possessive about that puppy, you know, and never leave that puppy with that adult dog alone, because you don't know what'll trigger that dog. Maybe they'll fight about food. Maybe that adult dog might fight about the toy. So you never know. So just keep your puppy safe at all times. I hope those tips helped you out. If you're in the Houston area and you need dog training help, go to everyk9.com and set up a consult, and we'll go from there. All right, I'll catch y'all in the next video.